Hey, it's Danny. Welcome to Anything Goes, and today I am joined by Trevor, also known as Trevor Abney on social media. And today I'm going to be asking him a couple questions about his TikTok, and by the end, you will know all the secrets to becoming TikTok famous. Before we begin, a few quick things. First of all, I do have an Instagram and Twitter, which I'll link in the description. Also, go check out Trevor on TikTok, which I'll put in the description, and it will be somewhere on the screen right now, where he posts very relatable and comedic content. Anyways, why don't you introduce yourself to the people who don't know who you are?
Yeah, what's up, people? My name is Trevor Abney. I make TikToks. One interesting fact about me, I would say, is that I played college baseball for a while. I don't think anyone really knows that.
Oh,
And
that's
yeah, I do TikTok, I do YouTube. I'm trying to do all sorts of social media stuff. So
why don't you talk a little bit about why you started and sort of your process to getting to the point where you are now, which is like, is it
yeah,
700,000 or something like that?
yeah. I have 725,000 right now, I believe. It goes up. Um, different amounts every day. I haven't really been active on TikTok today, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, I basically started just kind of out of okay, so I was seeing all sorts of Instagram videos, Twitter videos of TikTok videos. Like people would repost them on Instagram and TikTok, or I mean
Mhm.
on Twitter. It basically, I was just like, why don't I have this app? Like, I kind of have had the same misconception that a lot of people had, that TikTok was kind of weird,
Yeah.
and it was just a bunch of kids dancing, and it was for little kids. And then I got on there, and my first TikTok was with my now ex-girlfriend,
Mhm.
and it got like 8,000 views, I believe. It only had like 100 likes, but it got 8,000 views, I believe. And I remember watching that go up and just calling her, and I thought that like 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 views was just like incredible for TikTok. Like I was so excited. And so I remember just calling her, and I made like 5 more TikToks that night because I was so addicted to them. And all the other ones got like 100 views. But
Huh.
it was really fun watching the likes and the views, especially the views. That's something I specifically remember, was the views coming in. But
Mhm.
yeah, so then after that, I kind of just started making videos, and then I actually took a break for a while. Like I was just kind of not into it really. I mean, I only had like 600 followers, and so I kind of took a break, and I ended up coming back about a month later and really trying to go with the trends and stuff. And I wasn't really finding much success in that, just following trends and putting my own twist on them, because for me personally, I'm not the type. I feel like I could if I wanted to, but I'm not really the type to post the fuckboy type content.
Yeah.
So and so I was kind of finding my way in that, and then I made my first video about the mom, which was very relatable to a lot of people. Which it was me saying mom, and then it switched to her in her office, and she said, "What, Trevor?" And then I responded with, "I'm in the nurse's office and my tummy hurts. Can you come pick me up?" And I feel like that was something that everyone kind of related to. Everyone in their childhood had that, where it's like they wanted to go home, so they just called their mom and said their tummy hurts.
Yeah.
And that one kind of took off. It got like 1.7 million views, and I kind of made a couple more after that, but I didn't really see the potential in it until like my fourth or fifth mom and dad video, or mom video, where it was just crazy growth, and everyone was loving them, and everyone was saying, I love this series. And I was like, what series? I don't have a series, but everyone else saw it that way. So I kind of labeled it CEO of Mom, and I started labeling them as certain parts, and I feel like people really, really liked them. And so that's kind of where that started.
Yeah, and how would you, I don't know if you know, but how would you say that you came up with the idea? Like, were you just thinking of ideas off the top of your head and then you thought, you know what?
Yeah. Well, I kind of saw someone else do something similar with the long face and the vibrato voice effect,
Yeah.
something to that effect. But I thought that I could make it better and funnier, and I also thought that I could do it a little more raunchy with cuss words. I could do it to where it's not over the top, but I could cuss, and like kind of over dramatize the child and the mom
Mhm.
character, into something that was relatable and funny, not only relatable. And it kind of just took off. Like I think the relatable aspect of it and the funny aspect clicked really well together, and I think that for sure made it a big hit.
So you would say Or would you say that one of the biggest tips you would give someone is to be more relatable or to be more funny?
Well, I would say just like people ask me this all the time, and I don't really know what to tell them. But people, I would try to just do your own thing. Like for me, why I blew up is because I basically started a trend. Like
Mm-hmm.
people know, like there's other TikTokers that do it, such as Aaron Scully and Tilly and MLB Brooks and Aaron Gordon and Aiden Hale. All those guys, just off the top of my head, do things like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I would kind of say that I started that, and people sort of it's sort of like a trend now. Like a lot of people do it. You know, there's kids that try to remake it. There's
Mm-hmm.
adults that try to remake it. And yeah, it's just kind of like fun. I think that also helped where it was like I got big enough to where people were remaking my videos and tagging me, and everyone kind of knew who I was, type thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that really jump started it. But as far as your question of how to be better on TikTok, I think it's just a matter of finding what fits you and finding what works. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I found for me. It kind of just was a random coincidence that I found something that works so well for me. And it could have happened to anyone, and it does happen to anyone. But I think to really, really get TikTok clout, you have to start some sort of a trend like that or be the best at that certain trend.
Yeah, and that makes total sense. Would you say that your goals with TikTok sort of changed from when you started to
Oh
now?
yeah. Oh my god, yeah. Like when I was at like 600, I remember I had a buddy that was at like 40,000, and I thought it was the coolest thing. I was like 19 years old, and I thought my buddy was super cool. But yeah, he had like 40,000, and I just thought it was super cool, and I had 600. So kind of he was telling me that you can make money on TikTok live streams, and I was
Mm.
very, very desperate to do that because I thought that was the only way to make money. And now obviously I know that I'm signed to a talent agency and things like that, so I get I make most of my money from brand deals and stuff.
Yeah.
But when I was at 600, 700, 800 followers, my main goal was to just get to 1,000 followers so I could get that damn money from the lives. And it turns out that there's really not a lot of money in that unless you're like multi million people follow you. But yeah, I mean, my goal was that, and now my goal is just to branch out. Like once I started seeing success after 1,000 followers and like 2,000, 10,000, 20,000, I was like, I could really turn this into something. And that was before I did the series that I do, and that got what got me really popular.
Mm-hmm.
And I really just wanted to be able to translate into YouTube because it's not necessarily about the money for me. Where I'm at in my life, it kind of sort of has to be in a way because I'm 20 years old and I don't go to college, and my parents like kind of need to see that this is legit.
Mm-hmm.
And in the last couple of months they've really seen that this is really something you can make money. And just with stuff I've been buying and things I've been telling them, I mean, they know that I'm making a good amount of money on this.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's the goal now changes for me right now. The goal is to just translate as much as I can to all of their social media platforms. You never know how long TikTok's going to last, how long anything's going to last.
Yeah.
So you need to transfer your following. And right now, it's just to keep growing. I guess right now you can say my goal is 1 million followers because I'm at
Mm-hmm.
725. So that's kind of, I guess, everyone's goal once they start to get up there. But yeah, once I hit 500,000, I was kind of just like, holy crap! Like this is a lot of people that follow me. And yeah, so I made my first YouTube video and it did really well. It got like 6K views. I think I have like almost 4K subscribers now,
Mm-hmm.
which for one YouTube video, I would say is pretty good. And you know what? I think that my goal also is just to do a good job of translating fans into
Yeah.
fans on
Yeah.
other platforms. I think posting about, you know, if if you guys go excuse me, if you guys go follow me and like my most recent Instagram post, I will pick one person and give $100 to.
Mm-hmm.
Just random stuff like that. Or like I'll include you in my next mom or dad video, just stuff like that to get people to be interactive with fans and to literally sit here and force them to be fans of you. Like
Mm.
you don't get fans by just sitting. I mean, you will, but those are temporary fans. You get fans by making them be fans, by wanting by by showing them that you care about them and that they can trust you and that you're honest and all those different things. In my mind, that's super, super, super important and cannot be, it can't be stressed enough that people, if people trust you and people like you, they will be fans forever, and they will be fans on any platform you decide to go on. They're fans of you. They're not fans of a certain thing you're doing.
Huh, and yeah, I think, this is a perfect example, is that now, I could sort of put a voice to your account because you're doing a podcast or you're answering
Yeah.
my DMs and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
So I
Yeah,
think,
and I just want to say something real quick. I always answer my DMs for anyone that's, or not answer, but look at my DMs for anyone that's wondering. There's so many things that can happen in DMs, whether it's business, whether it's a cute girl, whether it's, you know what I mean? It can be
mhm,
literally a whole wide range of things. And for people that, I mean, I know a lot of people check their DMs, but they don't check them really as extensively as me. I usually take the time at the end of the day to just scroll. I mean, I get hundreds and hundreds of DMs a day on all platforms,
yeah.
and I take the time to scroll through and just make sure I'm not missing anything. And, a lot of times also, if it's just someone with a positive message for me, I usually respond because that's the type of stuff that you want. And if you respond to people like that, it'll keep coming back to you, and people will be like, wow, positivity instead of negativity will get his attention. So why not? Why don't we all be positive?
And that can sort of, bring up a controversial topic because you can't really speak for everyone. But do you think, like, what would the reasoning behind not answering your DMs be?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when people just kind of spam DM you, or they just say, like, for example, I get the DM that just says "Hey" like 50 times a day. Like, I
Yeah,
will
yeah.
never answer that unless it's just like a smoke show girl. But like, I will never answer just someone just saying "Hey." For example, earlier today, I saw a DM that it was like a really long, thought out, nice paragraph about, I love you, I support you. It would mean the world to me if you commented or if you DM me back. I follow you on all your socials. I really support what you're doing. I'm going to be a fan forever,
Hmm.
and stuff like that. I mean, even if it's one drop in the bucket of fans, I mean, I have 725,000 followers. Even if one person feels like they're connected to you, I mean, you can never put a price tag on just one person. I mean, if I could reach out and talk to all 700,000 followers, I would.
Hmm.
But I mean, even if you just leave one fan with that remark of just you saying that means a lot to me, blah blah blah, just that response will make a fan for life. And that is really important to me. And I mean, I respond to a lot of people, but the word gets around. Like, people talk, people show other people their videos. I mean, if they feel like you're really honest and responsible and are a good, just a genuinely good person, they're gonna tell their friends. Their friends are gonna tell their friends, like, hey, he answered my DM, blah blah blah. Oh, that's so cool. And then that's like 10 more followers from their friend group
Hmm.
and stuff like that. I mean, it's just always good to be honest and to make people feel like they can trust you.
Yeah, it's weird. I never really thought of it that way. So then if you were to say, would you prefer to have 100,000 true fans or a million followers? Like, at what point does it become more of a, okay, at this point I have more followers, that's good? Because at a million followers, right, maybe 3 million followers, it gets difficult, I can imagine, to be
Yeah.
able to keep in touch with all of your fans.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So basically, about that, I mean, I think that I would say that 700,000 followers on TikTok could translate to 100,000 on YouTube. I would say that those people are like real fans. I'm not saying that anyone that doesn't subscribe to me on YouTube isn't a real fan. I'm just saying that when people see that you have a YouTube, say someone saw my video on the For You page,
Hmm.
and, and then they had never seen me before. They look through my profile, they like what they see, and I also post a lot of other things besides long face videos. I post, talking to my camera. I post different trends.
Yeah, yeah.
I post all sorts of stuff. And so if people go through that and like me, and then they take the time out of their day, just one video on their For You page makes them do all this. And then they go to my Instagram, and that's linked to my TikTok bio, and they follow me on that. And then they subscribe to my YouTube, and then they turn on my notifications. Like, if they do all that, I think that that is way more important than just having someone that follows me, that doesn't really really
Interact.
interact, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that anyone that doesn't do all that isn't a fan. I mean, people have all their sorts of reasons for why they don't follow you and stuff, but I feel like I do a really good job of making people feel welcome and making people literally literally pounding into people's heads that I care about fans, and I
Hmm.
will. I mean, I do all sorts of giveaways. I interact. I do FaceTimes, not FaceTimes. I do Zoom calls. I do lives. And yeah, and ever since day one, when I started going live, I would make sure I would sit on my live and I would make sure that every single person that joined and every single person that said something was responded to or was acknowledged when they entered the chat. And that is very important in my opinion, because if someone comes into your live stream and you don't even acknowledge them, they're just going to leave.
Yeah.
And I know that from firsthand experience, because if I go into someone's live stream and I'm not acknowledged, like, they have no idea. I mean, I'll go into people's live streams now, literally there will be 5 people in there and I will say hey and they just will skip right over my comment. And to some point I understand, because people go in there and just say hey all the time. I mean, I get that on my live streams all the time, but imagine someone with 725,000 followers coming into someone with 1,000 followers live stream and say all you had to do was say hi to me, and I was like, holy crap, this dude's really cool, and start a conversation with me over the phone. And so then I say, oh my god, this person's really cool, maybe we should collab. And then I collab with you and you get 10,000 followers, and then you know what I mean. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah. Yeah.
it's really important. You never know who's there. You never know what people want, and just a simple hello can change someone's perspective on you immediately. And so I think that that was ever, like I was saying, ever since the beginning, I've made sure to do that and made sure to make everyone that follows me. I mean, obviously now it's a lot harder to personally make sure that everyone feels welcome. But when people DM me and stuff, I always that's a big part of who I am and what I want to do.
Yeah, and that's a I find that to be a really interesting point because everyone who I ask, to sort of give advice, it's usually based around their account or it's based around, the videos they make, the type of videos they make, how funny it
Exactly.
is, how relatable it is, but you never really hear about someone's talking about how you interact with your fans. And I
Yeah.
do think that that is a pretty huge part no matter how many fans you have.
Exactly.
So yeah,
Exactly. And that also comes to the point where I see huge TikTokers, like 4 or 5 million TikTokers, and they almost think it's cool to not. Okay, so another thing that I do also is I try to like a lot of people's comments on my videos and respond to people if they
mhm.
have something interesting to say on my actual videos. And I see a lot of big TikTokers that don't take the time out of their day to do that, and that's their choice. And a lot of those TikTokers that do that, like, I'm not going to say any names, but a lot of the TikTokers that do that are the type of TikTokers that blew up overnight and they really don't know how to handle it. And I'm not one of those people. I mean, I have blown up, but it hasn't been overnight. I've worked for it. I've posted videos every day. I've been interactive. I've been all the stuff that I've been talking about in this call. And I just think it's dumb. I think that these TikTokers that have 4, 5, 6, 10 million followers should be interacting as much as possible, should be pushing out their content to as many people as they can. And the people that blow up overnight really don't have a grasp on how much of a career this can turn into for them. If you have 5 million followers on TikTok, you could literally start a YouTube channel and be making thousands of dollars. I mean, just right off the bat, just with the 5 million followers on TikTok. And there's not a lot of people that do that.
Mhm.
And I just think that it's dumb. And I think that it's really dumb not to. This is kind of to another point, but I think it's really dumb not to make a career out of that if you have the clout like that. Um, because that is literally a career. I mean, and it's a very, very fun career at that.
Yeah.
So I think it's very dumb how some people handle it, but I also think some people do really well. And I just think, in my opinion, and I'm not just saying this like to blow my own horn, but I think, in my opinion, I haven't seen anyone else interact the way that I do, and I think it's really, really important, and it really shows a lot about how about why I have so many followers, because and why I have so many fans, and why I have so many people that comment on my Instagram pictures, on my YouTube videos, on my TikTok videos. I get so many comments and so many positive comments, and it's because I've made almost a family type feel.
Mhm. Yeah, that's obviously I can speak from firsthand experience that you definitely showed out a little bit more than other people that I have texted before that, probably don't answer because I assume that people with your type of followers or even more wouldn't answer me. So that's why
Yeah,
it almost stands out even more the more followers you have because it's
exactly.
harder to answer DMs. And you brought up a little bit of a controversial topic, which is making a living off of social media. I just want to sort of talk about that a little bit more because it seems it's a very risky business, as you were saying before that, especially if you like purposely don't get a job to focus your time on
Yeah,
TikTok. You were totally right. If TikTok shuts down tomorrow and you don't have a place to live because you're not making money anymore, it can be risky. So,
yeah. So basically, I mean, this is my opinion on it, and I could talk about this for hours, but
mhm.
I think if you find something that you're passionate about, why would you ever take the straight and narrow path of going to college, getting a 9 to 5 job, and being content? Why wouldn't you try? To me, social media is like building a business. If you were like my dad owns a landscaping business. If I
Mhm.
was to try and build a landscaping business right now, people would be like, "Oh, that's so admirable. Like, oh my god, you're doing so much with your life."
Yeah.
But because I'm doing it over the phone and over the internet, it's looked down upon because people that are my age and younger and older around my age range, they can understand more. But I think a lot of people really, really don't understand the extent of how far you can go with this type stuff. And I mean, I've had a lot of people like friends and stuff that just don't really talk to me anymore because I played college baseball. The coronavirus happened. I stopped playing college baseball, and I dropped out. And that I only had like 150,000 followers, and I was getting like $50 here, $20 there. And now I have 700,000 followers, and it's just growing day by day. I mean, I hit 700,000 like 2 days ago. I have 725 now. The growth fluctuates, but it never takes away from me literally trying to build a business, and that's how I see it. I see all this as building a business, and people, like I said before, people really don't understand that it is building a business. It's building a brand. It's putting you know especially parents of kids that are my age, the 50, 60-year-old parents right now
Yeah.
that don't really get it. And I understand why they wouldn't get it. It's nothing against them. I'm just saying, um, the straight and narrow path is for a lot of people, but it's not for me and it's not for a lot of other people. And just because someone isn't taking that path doesn't mean that they're not trying to do something with my life. I mean, this stuff is a full-time job for me right now. On YouTube now. I hire people to edit my videos. I bought $1,000 camera setup with mic and tripod and camera itself. I just the other day bought an $800 MacBook computer so I can start to get into editing myself.
Mhm.
I've bought clothing that is really important for Instagram, in my opinion. You got to look the part, and
Yeah.
I think that the building a business aspect of it is kind of looked over to some people, and not really understood. But I think it's really really important to look at it that way. And if you do look at it that way, anything is possible. And I'm not I've mentioned money a couple times. I'm not in it for the money right now. I'm in it to really prove people wrong right now.
Hmm.
But I mean, when the money comes, the money will come. And when the money comes, I'll for sure be giving back. I mean, my goal through all of this is just to be a really really popular YouTuber and do what? No, you gotta go. Get out. Out. Um yeah, and I just think that it's really important to look at it that way. And sorry, my sister just walked in.
No, that's fine. It's
Fucking it.
fine.
Um, fuck, I forgot what I was saying.
It's fine. I can cut this out. You were talking about how it's not really for the money, but that
Oh
you're
yeah,
sort
yeah.
of trying to prove people wrong.
So I really, it's really important for me. I think. Okay, so I remember what I was saying. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I want to be like a big popular YouTuber, and I want to travel. I want to meet other YouTubers. I think that a lot of people that do this are really cool people, and they have a lot of persistence within them because they were all at a point that I was at. I mean, not any like I could use an example that I know a lot of people of my friends watch the Nelk Boys.
Mm-hmm.
They started with 10 followers too. Like everyone starts somewhere, and they didn't just get 5 million subscribers overnight or however many they have now. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they worked for it and they made crappy videos and they had no money at one, all that type of stuff. And so I just think it's and eventually I want to, expand into YouTube heavily and get out of TikTok more. I mean, right now I can't really because I don't have the followers on TikTok to do that yet,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm starting on YouTube and I want to, make money and give my parents a car, give my parents money, give my grandparents money, just do nice things for my sister, give back to as many people as I can and record videos like that. So basically, if anyone is watching this from my followers and is wondering, um, I really want my YouTube videos in the future to be Logan Paul, David Dobrik, Mr. Beast, and FaZe Rug kind of all combined. I'm gonna have it be sort of sort of giving away certain things
Yeah.
um to people and then also like vlog style like my life. So basically it'll be a short like an 8 to 10 minute video, probably 10 minutes because that's when the double ad money hits.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually I'll have to do that obviously, but I want it to just be a decently short video and I mean vlog things and then maybe a 1 minute section of me meeting someone that I think could use some money or me going through a drive through at a fast food place and giving someone money type shit like things like that. And so basically it'll be like a 50-50 split. It'll be me giving back and the love, bringing out the love emotion in the viewer, and then also showing my life and doing fun things on camera and stuff like that. So it'll kind of be a split like that, for anyone that's wondering.
Yeah, and that seems like, the life that most people want to live is that if you have the money to give back, it's a beautiful thing to be able to, one, work your dream job, two, be your own
Exactly.
boss, three, be able to give back, and just four, not having to work a 9 to 5 desk job. Because
Exactly.
it still is a lot of work, I'm sure. Sure that there's still, stressful moments and things like that, but it
Hmm.
definitely is different. And you were right about, it being frowned on.
Yeah.
And that it sort of has a bad reputation, I guess, because many people have the worry that if you put everything into it and you fail, you have nothing to lie back on. And I guess that's the worry when it comes to making a living off of
Yeah.
social media is it's hard to get to the point where you could say, all right, I'm going all in.
Yeah. And you know what? I've kind of come to that point now where it's just like I have 700,000 followers. It's really, really not that famous, but I think that in a couple months, you never know where it's going to be. And I mean, I'm a really, really smart person in general. I would say I think I have a lot of common sense. I think I know how to make money in
Mm-hmm.
almost any way possible. And I'm also doing other things. I also coach a baseball team right now that I make a little bit of money from.
Okay.
But I think that it's really, really important to just be all in and not care what people think. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, try harder, move on. But I mean, there's always opportunities. And you know what? This is just my opinion, and this is going to be really controversial, but I would never go to a university for 4 years and put myself in $250,000 of debt just to work a job I hate and be content with. I would just never do that to myself. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people do that, and that's fine with me. It's really good for a lot of people, but I think just for me, and I think a lot of people that are watching this that just need someone to say it. I think that you don't have to. You don't have to go with what everyone else is doing. You can do your own thing, and the right people will stay in your life.
Yeah, and that is a controversial thing to say, obviously, because it's hard to give up on college for social media because I'm sure that it probably is frowned on by parents
Hmm.
because everyone in the past 100 to however many years has gone to college, got a job, and lived their life. That's what people do. And I think that's why it's such a foreign thing to hear, making a living off of YouTube, because no one thinks of it like they should. And
Yeah.
once everyone that is listening to this is given the opportunity to do social media, and I think that that's the key, is that every
That
single
is the key.
human,
And
yeah.
yeah, and that's very important. Everyone, I mean, basically everyone has a phone.
Mm.
The endless ways to make money on a phone now are just astronomical. Like, you can make money on a phone in any way. And I'm not just saying that the only path to go besides college is social media. I mean, you can build your own business, whether it's, a social media business, or it's a brand, or it's a company, or whatever the case may be. You can build your own thing, and you don't have to do social media. I think that's really important for me to say as well. It doesn't have to be social media, but for me right now, just with the success that I've already had, I think that that's kind of the route I'm going at this current moment. And you know what? I'm just so confident in myself that I'm not going to give up. I will succeed in doing this. That I really don't have a backup plan right now, but I also know in the back of my head that that I if it for some reason really doesn't work out and I'm just can't pay the bills, that I can still pursue it with a job that pays the bills. I mean, whether that's working in freaking retail or at a fast food restaurant, whatever pays the bills, I will keep trying with this. And once it works out, it works out. But I'm basically saying right now that, and I don't want to jinx it, I'm knocking on wood right now. I'm basically saying right now that this is going to work out for me because I'm determined to make it work.
Yeah, and I think, obviously you can look back on this maybe when you do go famous and say, most people can't really tell themselves that, because especially to
People
say
give
it,
up too easily.
yeah, especially to say it to someone else is an insanely difficult thing to do, is to say, you know what? I don't care what your opinion is. I'm going to go famous
Yeah,
on the internet or on social media. And that's almost a nearly impossible thing to tell yourself. So I think the fact
exactly.
that you can do that, you're already a step ahead, because you have that 20% more of a chance to do well, because you're going to do well.
Exactly. And you know what? I said it before too. Like, when I was at like 10K, 20K followers, that's when I kind of realized, I was like, holy crap, I have a lot of followers on TikTok. And you know what? On TikTok, I wouldn't really consider you TikTok famous personally until you hit 1 million followers. Um, and that's just the way that I look at it. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that you have clout once you hit like around 250,000 followers, and that's just my opinion. Everyone sees it a different way. Um, but in my opinion, that's what it is. And when I first started, and when I was like, actually, after I took that month break that I told you about, and then I came back, I was kind of like, okay, I'm gonna be famous on TikTok. Like, there's just no doubt about it. I literally had like 15K followers. I was like, all right, like, I'm not.
Let's
And
do
like, even
this.
my ex-girlfriend, my friends, like, everyone thought TikTok was so weird and cringy and just like something that just like little kids went on. But like, what now? Like, I have 725,000 followers and it's growing exponentially. I would just say to those people that said that when I had 15K, like, what now? I mean, I'm making money on TikTok. I'm making enough money off brand deals to move out on my own right now. It's just
It's
I
insane.
would I would never have expected it to go this far, but it has. And now, you know what? I knew it would, but I didn't really expect it so fast. And you know what? Now that it's gotten this far, it's gonna double and triple. It's just gonna keep going, and I'll keep expanding. And to those people that told me all that stuff, fuck you.
And I mean, there you go. That's it. I think it's confidence. That's what you. That's a key to succeeding, is confidence, and saying, I'm
Yeah,
doing this. I'm not just like, I probably won't go anywhere, because most people don't. Cause I think it's because most people say that. Most people say
exactly,
that, it's nearly impossible. So yeah, it will be nearly impossible if you say that.
exactly.
And to sort of, wrap this up a little bit, as I hate to do that, the question, that probably most people are here for, and it might be a little bit difficult to answer immediately off the top of your mind, but how would you summarize in your own words, how do you get famous? If you had to
Um,
answer that question to someone, if they're like, "How do I get famous?" How would you answer that to them?
yeah, I mean, like I said kind of before. I mean, that is such a hard question. Like,
You could take your
I
time.
would, yeah, I would just, yeah. Let me think about this for a minute.
All right. This I always ask this question. This is like the one question that I ask everyone because you can take it wherever you want. It can be a very
I would literally. This is not the answer that like is like the typical textbook answer. I would say first off, be original, be relatable. I think being relatable, no matter if it's comedy, if it's POVs like sad sort of stuff, breakup stuff, if it's giving back, be
mm,
relatable and hit people's core emotions. If you can hit people's core emotions like love, happiness, anger, things like that, if you can hit those emotions, people will watch and people will feel you on another level that a lot of people aren't able to hit. I think hitting people's core emotions is very, very important in content, any sort of content.
hmm,
And being relatable is very important as well, because if you're relatable, people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, I used to do," that. Or "Oh my god, that's something that my sister used to do," or whatever. And then they'll like it, and then they'll send it to their sister, or send it to their mom, and be like, "Hey, mom, remember when I used to do this?" Blah blah blah. And I think that's really important, being relatable.
mm,
But I mean, whether it's comedy, whether it's love, whether it's sadness, hit people's core emotions and be original in the way you do it, and you will take off. And another point that I want to bring up is that, like, don't give a fuck what people think about you, what people are gonna say about you. It doesn't matter at all. Like, no, like, people that are gonna stay in your life and that are really there in your life are gonna stay, and people that aren't are gonna go. And it doesn't matter. Those people aren't supposed to be in your life anyway. So why would you care what people think? Why would you care what people are talking about? If I would have cared what people were talking about when I had 10K followers on TikTok, I wouldn't be making thousands of dollars off brand deals off TikTok, right? And I wouldn't be able to, show up to a party in a freaking Balenciaga hoodie or whatever. I mean, I'm talking like I'm freaking like
famous.
insanely rich right now, but I'm just saying, like, just to like dramatize it a little bit, like, what are they gonna say now? Like, what you're literally gonna shut them up when you pull up somewhere with a freaking Ferrari, or, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
gonna shut them up. Like, what they're saying is just not going to matter in the long run. And those people are temporary in your life. And that's really the biggest thing that is stopping people. Most people want to be famous. And a lot of people that DM me, "Hey, how do I get famous? Hey, will you give me a shout out?" Blah, blah, blah. They don't even post videos. And I'm just like, post videos. And they're like, "Well, my mom told me I can't today." Or, "Well, blah, 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 this and that." I get it if you're a young kid and your mom tells you you can't. That's a different story. But if
hmm,
you're a teenager, my age, 20, 30, just start. Like, it doesn't matter. Right? I mean, people's opinions are so irrelevant, and people's negativity is just so not needed in your life, that if you take one thing away from listening to this, just don't ever care what people think about you, and that will get you more famous than any advice that anyone could ever.
Wow, that really, I think that sums it up. I honestly believe that anything is possible if you just like mute everyone. If you just mute everyone, anything is possible with time. And I think that's
Exactly.
basically what you were saying. But I really just want to point out that what you said was really important for people who want to do something with social media.
Yeah.
Do you have any other thoughts you want to share to everyone?
No, I'm just gonna say that this podcast is great. Everyone subscribe to my man. If anyone's watching this from me, I'll probably post this on my spam account on TikTok and tell people to go watch it. If anyone's watching this from me, make sure you subscribe to my man. He did a good job. We had a good
Thank you,
podcast,
thank you.
and if you want to subscribe to me, you can subscribe to me, but for sure subscribe to him, because he's gonna do great things, and he's one of the people that's not caring about what people think.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. But I was just gonna say, everyone who's watching this, it's gonna be on the screen right now. especially from my account, definitely go check him out on TikTok, because you just heard 40 minutes or 30 minutes of him talking about how much work he's putting into it. So I really think even I would appreciate it if you go check his accounts out, and
Yes,
definitely
sir.
subscribe to his YouTube channel, because that's the end goal, what it seems for you. So definitely go do that
Yes,
if you're
sir.
going to check out his TikTok. All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for everyone listening. Thank you for being on the podcast, Trevor. I really appreciate it.
No problem. I appreciate it. It was cool. It's my first ever podcast. So
That's really cool.
if I'm ever from the north up in the east, I can be on the podcast in real life.
In real life podcast. Sounds like a plan.
Yes, sir.
All right. See
All right,
you
brother.
guys.